All across America, in the boardrooms of multinational corporations, behind the storefronts of small businesses, and on the trading floors of great markets, there is a battle raging. It's a battle, surprisingly, between two academic theories. Two theories about the purpose of a corporation. For the past 40 years, one of these theories has been winning the battle. In the process, it's corrupting American capitalism, American democracy, and our everyday lives. It's a theory we all take for granted that says a corporation has one purpose and only one purpose: to make as much money as it can for its shareholders.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Should we care if the Gordon Geckos of the world are only looking out for themselves? Every corporation goes fishing for dollars, but too many corporations are fishing with dynamite.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need money, that's what I want. I need money, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
For several decades now, the people who should be making American capitalism better have been making it worse. The time has come to stop fishing with dynamite.
Growing firestorm over the soaring cost of EpiPens, up some 400% in recent years.
Volkswagen admitted that it rigged cars to defraud pollution tests.
Hour after hour, oil poured into the sea, yet BP seemed oblivious to the catastrophe it was causing.
The scale of the fraud, stunning. Wells Fargo admits it fraudulently opened more than 2 million bank and credit card accounts.
The former Enron executives were convicted on 29 counts, including conspiracy to hide the failing health of the company.
This idea that if it made money, then it was good. That was a huge driver at Enron, and I think that was the first time I saw that almost become a substitute for a religion in a way to really simplify a complicated world, right? If you can get rid of all these other factors, all the complexity of life, and say, well, if it produces profits, then we're doing the right thing.
The fall of Enron was the first of several stories written by Bethany McLean about certain corporations and their single-minded focus on profit.
Valiant is the most recent kind of shocking example, which was a pharmaceutical company that had a complete focus on shareholder value. Mike Pearson, the CEO, once said in an interview, "The only thing I care about is my shareholders." What they were doing was basically finding loopholes in tax law and in drug law, and one of those loopholes involved an ability to raise the price on drugs, including drugs people need to stay alive. And you look at that and think, have we lost all sense of ethics? Have we lost all sense of a broader responsibility? I mean, this is a drug company that has people's lives in its hands.
Although she's written books and articles critical of corporations, Bethany McLean is hardly an enemy of capitalism.
I think I start from a real love and respect for business because I actually think it's business done right that makes the world a better place, makes products that makes people's lives better, creates jobs that enables people to raise families and live their lives comfortably. So I get so outraged by unethical money-making precisely because I think business done well is such an important driver of a better world.
A national study by the Aspen Institute found that students entering MBA programs believe that the purpose of a corporation is to produce goods and services for the benefit of society. But students graduating from MBA programs believe the purpose of a corporation is to maximize something called shareholder value. How are so many minds changed in just 2 years? Take a look at the most popular corporate finance book in American business schools. Chapter 1.
Stockholders are the owners of a corporation. Management's primary goal is stockholder wealth maximization.
For over 40 years, academics have taught this maximizing shareholder value theory. But today, more and more are embracing a different approach, the stakeholder model. That's the theory first expressed by Professor Ed Freeman, a leading expert in the field of business ethics.
Business ethics is an oxymoron, contradiction, like jumbo shrimp. Business ethics, it must be a short course. Business ethics, I heard this from a bar in Copenhagen. Oh, you teach business ethics. That's a theoretical subject, isn't it? Or business ethics, I didn't know business had any. But the fact that there's a joke is the problem. It means there's something about capitalism that we sort of assume is morally shady.
In 1984, Freeman wrote a book entitled Strategic Management, a Stakeholder Approach, that challenged the idea that a corporation had to always maximize shareholder value. He called his approach the stakeholder model. At the center is the CEO who makes decisions based on the needs and expectations of many groups and individuals, many stakeholders. Among them are the people who invest in the company, the shareholders. Of course, the customers are also stakeholders who purchase and benefit from the products and services provided by the company. Then there are the employees who receive a salary to do the work necessary for the company to achieve its goals. Another group are the suppliers, sometimes called vendors, who provide the raw materials and services that the company needs. And finally, there's the larger world in which the company operates, including the community and the government, and the natural environment. When you hear people talk about conscious capitalism or purpose-driven companies, they are probably drawing on Ed Freeman's stakeholder model. In the early 1980s, when Freeman was conceptualizing this theoretical model, a handful of entrepreneurs were actually creating stakeholder companies.
Walter and I got into this business out of a sense of mission to sell healthier food for people.
That's right.
Food that's better for our health, food that's more natural, more organic, food that's better for the planet. And that purpose has animated us for our entire history.
I'm not sure we even had the word purpose at our disposal at the time. I'm not sure it was more of an impulse or an intention, an instinct. Yeah.
You'd have to remember what the food was like in the United States back in the 70s. And we thought there was a better way.
Being in business is about more than making money. And making money is important, don't misunderstand me. And the enterprise must be profitable. But it's about more than that. There's a social contract that you have. You have a responsibility to all the people who count on you.
Somehow in '78, we knew that saving time is very, very, very important. And of course, God, life was so simple then. We were so young, we didn't have any idea how important time was. But it really worked out well. We fell in love with these functional, well-designed products, almost all of which were commercial and industrial in nature, because businesses were interested in saving time and space, but nobody had ever done it on a consumer level.